the group. Is Pablo on as well?
I
No.
think he's in Colombia, so I don't think he's coming on.
Yeah, I think that was.
Sorry about that, guys. I think we're back. Sorry about that. Okay, I think we're back. Okay, so
Okay.
sorry, Mom. Can you?
That's all right. So I don't know at what point we got off.
You cut off when you were about to give us the number for the yellow hearts.
Okay,
okay.
the yellow hearts, we have 490 completely finished and another 20 names that we just have to write on them. So about 510 altogether.
Wow. Oh, I thought it was 700.
Yeah, so it was like 500. I was giving like an estimate. 500. We have about 500 and 190. So I for that I added Queens and the yellow heart. The Queens and the yellow hearts, yeah. So it's about 500 outside and about 200 Queens. So it's
Got
about
it. Okay.
Yellow hearts won't be a problem in getting the names for them because we can always get them from other sources, even people who haven't submitted them to us.
right.
The pictures are a different story.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay. Okay. All right. So that's where we are as far as the submissions go. Okay. All right. So the big news that we have to share is that Queensboro President Richards and his staff are fully on board with what we're doing. The woman I was speaking to, Susan Marchetta, the Director of Personnel, she's been really enthusiastic and brought this to the Queensboro President's attention. I feel really good about partnering with him. He is not looking to take away from our vision at all. He's a guest that day. He said, we asked him to speak and he said that would be his honor, but he's not looking to run this and take it over. Okay. He's going to be helping us pretty much with everything he's going to be advertising it for us, making people aware. We're also got some great contacts with him. How about you? Great information as far as some press leads. And tomorrow I have a phone call with QPTV, which is the Queens Public Television, about some technical aspects. So hopefully they might be able to solve our internet and streaming aspects. Okay. So yes, that's great news. Okay, so as far as the committees go, the marketing and outreach, Senator Adabo, I spoke to Senator Adabo's office, and they are looking to release their press release and the joint resolution that they have with Assemblywoman Rajkumar this week. They said that they had some budget things pop up, and I don't know what else could be happening in New York State politics right now. But yeah, so but they are still very much on top of it. I'm also hoping to speak with Senator Adabo during this week to shore up things that he had committed to as far as the police and some of those other aspects. Okay. Okay, as far as the press that we have and that we're looking at so far, we did the the Queen's leader. Has anybody been able to find that?
Oh, right.
Apparently we were in the Queen's leader, but I'm not able to find a copy of that anyplace. So we have a photograph of it, but I don't know if it was in print or not. I also had an interview. This is actually really, really strange, but I had an interview the other night with the Associated Press that contacted me, not about the memorial, but they had contacted me about COVID loss and advocacy. And I did an interview with them, which went really great. And during the interview, I brought up about the Remembrance Day, and they popped up and was like, "What?" And they were greatly intrigued by the whole idea. So much so that they're coming to my house on Tuesday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, kind of weird. They said they wanted to come to my house and follow me around, which is kind of weird. But
Hence Brian was cleaning all day.
yeah, exactly.
Like,
Hence I've been
keeping up with the
cleaning all day.
Kardashians.
But yes, they are coming on Tuesday, and we are hopefully.
Call mommy.
Okay.
Okay, James.
We're hopefully going to be going over to Forest Park as well to show them
Good.
some of that. So that could be a great lead as well. Okay, Siobhan was not here. She was going to talk to us, but they also have, what was it, Emmy? We were on the homepage for the
The
National
National Association of Social Workers. So
Okay.
we'll be featured there. And then you want me to continue
Yeah.
down the list? Right. Okay. And then Kathy and I had a meeting with the New York State Nurses Association this week. So I'm going to ask Kathy to give an update on that.
Hi guys. So we spoke with two nursing NISNA representatives and then also the main point person for their political and community organizing department. Basically, they are so willing to help with anything. They said they're willing to donate and they're willing to just give us whatever we need, whether it's stuff for the tribute in terms of audio, if they want us to donate water, anything that we need basically that we don't have right now, they said they would definitely fill. So we just need to really find out what we do need and I can let them know and they're totally on board in terms of that. In terms of advertising, we're gonna be featured in their magazine, which is called New York Nurse, and then also their newsletter that's actually sent out about every 2 weeks, like bi-weekly. So at least there's 2 newsletters we'll be in and will be featured. So this is not going to be just covering my hospital because I work in the city, where they're going to be covering all the NISNA locations also throughout Queens. So we'll be contacting them directly as well. And I also have I forgot to tell you, Emmy, but I have a patient of mine who actually works at one of the New York hospitals that were affected in Queens. I think it was the one on Booth Memorial Avenue. So she actually works there too. And I contacted her directly and she's going to reach out to people over there at that hospital, specifically in Fresh Meadows and Flushing. So that is basically the sum of our conversations. And then through that, one of the members actually has connections to the Filipino community. One of them is a Asian Pacific Islander advocate in the political community. However, I wouldn't say it's going to be more political, but I just would say he has so much connections, and that anything else we need from him also in terms of advertising, I know that the word will get out there. So I have to work on contacting him as well. Another thing they mentioned was if we need any more people for the interfaith prayer, we have people that we can contact of whatever we need right now. I know we have our priest from our Catholic church, and then also the one from who else
St.
had
Michael's.
St. Mark's Episcopal.
yeah, the Episcopal.
St.
Are those the only 2 we have right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Oh.
were going to get into that
Yeah.
because we do
Sorry.
need to
I
expand
went ahead.
that. That's fine. That's fine.
But yeah, so those were a couple of things and that we're gonna work on in terms of working with those individual organizations as well. So that's the whole sum of all the updates from that.
Just to add, the Political Action and Community Organizing Committee, the rep there basically said they work with all of downstate. And so they not only have connections in the nursing and medical community, they also have connections to other community-based organizations that they can get our throughout Queens that we can advertise. So once my action point is I have to send them a summary of the event because we just spoke with them, I think last Thursday or Friday. I have to get a summary of the event to them and all the hyperlinks to them for all of our social media. They also have social media. So they have, Kathy, they have a Facebook page.
Yeah, they have Facebook,
they have all
Instagram.
of that. So they're gonna
But we just need to
advertise.
send the blurb.
Yeah, so I'm working on that piece and we'll send that to them this week so that we can start seeing that advertised throughout the nursing community.
And that's it on our end.
Okay. Right,
That sounds fabulous.
I've also been contacted by City NY, which is an online newspaper. They're looking to talk this week. So once I get an idea from them what they're looking for, and then I'll have more to go on by that. But that's another resource that hopefully will open up to us. Okay.
I just want to ask, Kathy had mentioned Booth Memorial, and I know that Jennifer works at New York Presbyterian. If any of you guys have any contacts to the New York every New York hospital has like a community affairs office or social work office that works with the public. If you have know who the contact person is at any of these hospitals, I'm willing to just take the lead on reaching out to those particular individuals so that we can make sure that our event gets advertised at each of those hospitals.
I'll speak to what's the name of that? I'm just gonna take a note on my phone.
It's going to either be the social work or the community affairs office. They call it different things at different hospitals. But if you can get the point person to me, I'll take Brian's template and then I'll customize it and send it out to each of those individuals. Since I'm already doing the NISNA one, I might as well do it for the rest of the hospitals too.
Perfect. I'll reach out to the director tomorrow and I'll definitely let you know.
Okay, thank
For
you.
NYP.
And that goes for anybody else who has a contact at any of the other
Yeah.
hospitals in New York.
Alyssa, I realize that I haven't shared the Google Drive with you, but we have pretty much all the resources in the Google Drive, all the documents, all the stuff like that that you might need.
Yeah, I think you shared it.
You cut out. You cut
Yeah.
out.
Oh, sorry. Could you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. I saw it on I think Emmy shared it on the
Okay.
Facebook, but we were able to like browse through it and
Great.
see.
Good,
Okay,
and-
good.
Yeah, we've shared the blurb with like people in our community. And we've got a couple of people come like in businesses that want to donate whatever they can, whether it's water, snacks, whatever we need.
So we want to coordinate that. We'll cover that in the logistics section.
Yeah, I think
We want to be able to centralize who is willing to donate their services or their products so that we can manage that on the day of. So Alyssa, if we when we get to that agenda item, if you can let us know, that would be really great.
Okay, sounds
Okay.
good.
Okay. Okay, so for the website update, so we I created the essential workers tribute form, okay, and I put that on the page. In order to do that, just aesthetically, I had to remove the location and gallery tabs. They'll come back, but right now it's just they're missing because we don't have to put that out right this second. That's a little more pressing. So in case you go to the website and you see those are gone, I know they're gone. I just put that in. Okay. This is where, going back to what you guys were saying about the nursing outreach and stuff like that, I've tried to push that, but I have a limited stretch myself as far as getting to that. And we haven't really had much success with responses. I think we're up to like 5 or 6 responses for that. Okay. So that's something where you guys can really push into your specific fields to get people to respond to that form. Okay.
Brian, I just have a quick question because I know on the committee on our Facebook chat, I know a lot of people were concerned. So I just wanted to, in terms of the actual tribute,
So-
can we just go over that?
Okay, so what I was kind of having in what I was picturing is when you're at the band shell, the whole front of the band shell, the back will be all the yellow hearts and stuff like that. And I think we're gonna have to, for social distancing and whatnot, we're gonna have to make like a one-way path through the tribute area and then out. So you're gonna come in one exit and leave another exit. So
Yeah.
when you leave the exit, when you walk past the area that's in front of the in front of the bathrooms rather, so that's going to be standing at the band shell to the right. There's a big open area, and I thought that would be perfect if we could create more or less a wall, okay, there, and print out the responses so people walk past that. And then
Okay.
whether or not we put like a thank you on top or whatever, we're gonna figure out the actual layout of it, but then we can put the responses in it to kind of give like a visual of what the essential workers have been thinking and going through and what we're thanking them for. It's like, oh, thank you, but this gives maybe we'll bring it more home as to what they're thinking. Just even the few responses I've gotten have been really powerful with what people have been saying and what they've been thinking. That first question that you came up with, well, what would you say to yourself, back in March? I mean, some of those answers are pretty incredible. And then in throughout that, if we want to put maybe a photo, we got one photo of a group of nurses in their scrubs.
Oh,
We could
that's
put that
nice.
in, that kind of thing.
Okay.
And the audio, we're still trying to figure out if we can work that in. Maybe as you're standing there, you can actually hear their voices.
Yeah.
But it's going to be
Okay.
kind of like
To the side. then.
secondary to
Yeah,
the side thing.
exactly.
And
Okay.
it's not going to take over the whole thrust of the memorial. Okay.
Yeah, because I know that was people were
Yeah.
concerned about that,
Right,
but yeah,
right.
I agree with that we have it to the side.
Right.
Definitely.
Exactly. It's going
Okay.
to be like on the way out.
I have something to say. I'm sorry, but
Hey,
I still
Pablo.
think I still think that the focus is still going off topic of the loved ones. We should. This is just for me. I think it should have been just a focus on just focusing on COVID victims. There's other memorials out there for other people who have heroes and stuff like that. Other events. This was supposed to be a day for just remembering our loved ones. And that's why I think some of the people were concerned as well. I understand you want to say thank you, whatever, but you're taking out the focus of that. What happens when the media comes up and then it focuses more now towards the heroes instead of the loved ones? That's my opinion.
I don't know. Does anybody else feel that way?
I think, well, I'm actually in agreement with Brian that this is not going to take away from our loved ones. The focus, the whole day, the whole program is going to be on our loved ones. There's not going to be a program component per se that's going to focus on the essential workers. I think that the space is big enough, as based on what has been described to me, to be able to utilize another space to have a silent tribute for these essential workers. And if you look at the some of the questions, and this is what I suggested, Brian, is maybe, I know we said they can answer any or all the questions, but the main question there that I would like to see answered is, what would you say to the victims or the COVID loss survivors? I think it's question number 5. It's the last question that says, what would you like to say to those who lost somebody today? I don't remember the exact question, but that question in and of itself is a focus on what are essential workers. It's sort of like almost they're turning back the focus back on us. So I don't know if that, that I don't think that's going to address Pablo's concern per se, but I think it does help if it's not only focusing on themselves and what they thought and what they felt that day, but they recognize that there was a lot of loss. Hopefully, essential workers recognize the loss that we experienced. And if they can say something to us or members of families as they're leaving this area, I think that that would actually be something that would enhance the experience. But again, that's my opinion. And also because maybe me and Brian are on the same page in terms of it being silent and not taking away. Again, there's not anything actively going to be said in and of the program, which we're going to cover later on, that will focus on essential workers or heroes. So for me personally, I don't think it's a conflict.
Anybody else have any thoughts?
I mean, I was gonna say, I feel like we should also see how much, if you're saying you're not getting a big response, then maybe later we'll have to figure it out. If we get a huge response, obviously we should include it. But I also think if we have like only 5 people, we should see how the response goes too. I mean, I like the idea, especially like I consider myself an essential worker. A lot of people do forget what we were doing. It is nice to have that. but I can see both sides of it. But like I said, I think it also depends on the response. Like if we get a good, like, 50 people, essential workers responding, I definitely think that would be nice to have something there for people to see. And like Brian was saying, like I'm trying to get some of my coworkers to be involved and submit themselves, but I know it's also like some people are traumatized from it and don't know what to say either. So
Okay.
yeah, but I think we should take it, right now it seems like it is a good idea. I think let's just take it as we go because things might change.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's true. Also, just because I haven't even told anyone yet, to be honest, because I just wanted to make sure that we have, everything set, and also even if we don't have anybody give audio, we literally, it is silent, like to the side. That's why the last question though that Emmy did talk about, I think a whole bunch of us, I was not there specifically at the bedside of patients, but a lot of my coworkers were. And I know that a lot of them had connections, maybe not with all families, but we had a lot of our nurses that had reached out to us and talked with us. So I know that a lot of them may have a lot to say to the families and those of us who have lost loved ones. So I think it would be good, but I know that everybody has a differing opinion. But Pablo, I totally understand what you're saying, but as I don't think that we are going to make it the focus at all, since it will be to the side. And maybe Brian, maybe we should just take out the audio portion, just so that it is totally silent.
Okay. I'm good with that.
What do you guys
Yeah,
think
that
about
would
that?
be a good compromise.
idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's better.
Okay, so let's do that.
Okay. no
Okay.
problem.
All right, great.
Okay. So, all right, let's go on to community outreach. Turn the spotlight on Jennifer. So, two things. Could you tell us about following up with the people that have submitted the names and any?
Oh, we touched the whole list. I had Siobhan and Lori help out. They took a small portion of it. I finished up today. So what I've been doing myself is just texting them. Just because I've noticed when I call them, a lot of them wouldn't answer. A lot of them would be in between doing something, work. Me,
Sure.
myself, I know how I am. When somebody calls me, I'll say, yeah, 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 yeah. 10 minutes later, all of that is out the window. I won't remember. So that's how I've gotten most. If you look at, my phone, I have somebody that texted me right now with questions. It's just people have just been responding to me via text. I've helped family members submit photos just because it's easier with them. I did have a question to you, Brian, as
Sure.
far as when these people, especially like the Spanish speakers, they send over this information and obviously it goes to the list. Is there a way that I can know? Because there's a few of them that don't have phone numbers. I'm assuming most of them by their names that they only speak Spanish.
Okay.
So do you know if these
No.
people know, right?
No, unfortunately, because we have one Google Doc and it's in English and Spanish, so I can't tell you,
Okay.
which one they're reading.
So what I did is I just send it in English and Spanish for the ones that didn't have the phone number. So the whole list is covered right now. Is just a matter of following up. I spoke to Karen. I submitted a few. She's working on it. About 3 or 4 on the list were already completed. So thankfully all of that. I've noticed it's been easier as far as when I text these people.
Okay.
Some of them call me back because it's easier for them. But as far as texting, most of them, are fine. There was only one that didn't want a portrait. I notated that on the list. She
Yeah,
just
I
wanted
saw
a
that.
yellow heart.
Okay,
There's
that's
one, yeah. But thankfully
Yeah.
it's going good.
And the backup plan for anyone that doesn't have the portrait done is we're gonna do the yellow heart with the name
Yeah.
and neighborhood on it. So we'll cover that if we don't get back to it. That's fine. Okay, you had also spoken the last time about the possibility of doing a pop-up table someplace. Do we still feel that?
Yeah, so Me and Siobhan, we reached out to like 2 people in Jackson Heights that could assist us with that. Unfortunately, they didn't reach back out to us. I'm trying another way.
Okay,
I know my mom had friends that used to do a lot of events like that, so I'm trying to go that route because unfortunately these people they just didn't reply back.
all right.
So that would be my next step. I also had the idea of doing the setup, but I don't know how the location would be in front of the business in Jackson Heights.
Mhm.
I'm on 94th and 37th. I just don't know if that location would be a central point where I can
Right.
do that. So that's something that I'm also thinking because it'll be right in front of the business. It's easier. I don't really have to ask for anything. So there's that one. And then the one in College Point, that's a little too further out, I feel.
Because we I'm gonna put the graph up on the Facebook page, but it's actually the northern part of Queens that we're kind of
I
the
know
least
that, yeah.
represented in. You know, College Point, Whitestone, Fresh Meadows, those areas we're not getting much reach into.
Yeah,
Jackson Heights and Corona, Elmhurst, those are strong areas.
strong,
Yeah,
definitely. So
yeah.
I've thought about that too. You know, there's a store in 18, it's on College Point Boulevard. I've thought of also doing it there again because I wouldn't need a permit. It would be outside the store. So that's definitely a thought I have. If any of these people, I would prefer to have it at a central point. I think
Right, I
it would make
understand.
more sense. But my backup to the backup would be to do that.
Okay, well, let me know
Yeah.
what side and how we can help.
Okay.
Okay, all right.
If you want, sorry to interrupt. I went to school in Fresh Meadows, St. John there. So I can try next week because there's a lot of local places there. Just because I printed out a lot of flyers. I just literally got 100 copies made. And I was just gonna hit different businesses in different neighborhoods and just hand out flyers. So
Yeah, that
I
would be
go to
great.
like,
That's
because I
good.
go to like, I used to go to restaurants by St. John's and stuff. So I can go hit up those spots, see if they'll take the flyers, they'll post them up, see if that'll help out.
Right on
And
Union
I could
Turnpike.
also reach out to my dean at St. John's University, see if he'll somehow post it on the campus or they can put it in like the pharmacy building or something.
And I might have time this week too. Maybe I'll take a trip out
Yeah,
somewhere.
that's
You
what I'm
know,
thinking.
I'll look at the map and I'll look at areas that aren't coming in, and I could try that as well. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so as far as the outreach again, you know, I know last week we had spoken, or last meeting we had spoken about contacting electeds, but I feel with Donovan on board, I don't think we're going to need to
Yeah.
waste our time with that anymore. I think once Donovan starts pushing it, I think they're going to be calling us. And we're going to be like, oh, now you're returning our call, huh? No, I'm going to do it very nicely. But yeah, the point is, oh, you didn't have time for us before. So I don't think we have to worry about contacting anybody. So, you know, unless you really are passionate about tracking your assemblymen down or something like that, I don't think it's really that necessary anymore. Okay. Okay. So, Emmy, did you want to talk about the YouTube and the flyers and whatnot?
Sure. Okay. So we have Mark Moss owns a studio, and he offered to do 2 things for us. He offered to set up a YouTube live stream channel and also manage the live streams on the day of to our YouTube channels and on Facebook. And so he's going to be setting that up. Brian, I think I need to connect the 2 of you because there's some security issues for setting that up connected to
I
our email.
added him as the admin of the page on Facebook this morning. And then, yeah, yesterday I got that Google alert that somebody was trying to sign in, but I didn't realize that was him.
Yeah, me neither until
Yeah.
he sent an email.
Yeah.
So I'll just connect so that you guys can do
Sure.
it on a timely basis,
Yep.
you know, with your
problem.
phone on hand. And then one of the other suggestions, and this is tied to Donovan coming on board, was that all of the community boards have a website and connections to, you know, community businesses. So I think Brian, you said that Donovan's office is going to get us a list of the community boards so we can do an April
have it.
outreach because they all have April meetings, which
Yes,
we
I
think
have.
will happen after Easter.
Yes,
So,
I have the email list, and that's going to be going out.
yep. So I think there's going to be another advertising, marketing, outreach push through these community boards with the help of Donovan's office. And in light of that, now that Donovan is officially on board as of last week, Brian and I were discussing updating the flyers. The flyers that you've printed out so far are still great. They still link to, you know, the QR code and the website are still there. Nothing has changed. But we were thinking of adding brought to you by the Queen's COVID Remembrance Day Planning Committee, sponsored by Senator Joseph Adabo, Assemblywoman Jennifer Rajkumar, and Queensborough President Donovan Richards. And I was on hold on doing this, Brian. We talked about holding on until once folks start hearing about this, then the public is gonna probably find out and want to attend. So the flip side of this is, what are the restrictions, the gathering restrictions, social gathering restrictions on the day of, and how we're going to manage that? So you had spoken about maybe doing a one-way entry
Right.
and then one-way exit, but it's also the amount of people that can be there on the day of. And
Right.
we need to talk about this today because we have the electeds, the 1 p.m., which is with the political officials, and then we have the other two events for the rest of the day. So I actually was thinking about this weekend, and somebody did mention it when we were on the NISNA call. They asked, oh,
Yep.
and I think Siobhan also asked that
The
several
ticketed.
people
Mhm.
are asking, how can they attend? What's the process for attending? Can the public attend? So somebody asked on the NISDA call, hey, are you guys going to have a ticketed event
Right.
to this?
That's-
And I actually was thinking there are
Yeah.
some things we could do, like, I don't know, do an Eventbrite ticket for them so that we know actually who's coming, at least for the 1 p.m. event. And if we have a
Right.
limit, like 50 people, then we know who's there
Yeah,
and who
That's
can
something
come.
I mean, that's something you and I had said too, is that there's a real possibility, just so everybody knows, that the 1 o'clock event might be closed to the public, let's just say. Okay. So that would mean it would be us, all of us here. It would be
Volunteers.
elected officials. We would have an exact count. So it would more or less, the day would kind of look like, maybe a little bit of time in the morning would be open to the public, and then that event would have to be closed to the public by ticket or invitation only. However, and then that would be live streamed so nobody would miss it.
Right.
And then later on, after that, we could reopen it to the public so all the families can come. That's something that is looking like it might have to happen.
Definitely. I have, since I'm doing the outreach, I have somebody text me right now to asking me how many people in the family is allowed. This is already like the fourth person.
Yeah.
So
And-
it's definitely something, that.
Yeah, and it sucks
Mhm.
because I wish I could answer, but until the Parks Department gives me an answer, I can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just told them to kind of follow that page or text
Yeah.
me and I'll update them.
Yeah, that's
Um,
all I've been
and
saying
that's
the
all we
same
can
thing.
do.
Because I've been handling the emails, so I've been getting a ton of emails from people too, asking about that, and that's what I keep saying, that we are on hold until the Parks Department
Yep.
gives us an answer.
Yeah.
And they were supposed to give us an answer in March, and then March got pushed back till April. So the night before we're gonna get a phone call. It looks like.
So Brian, so speaking to that, I can update the flyers if you want me to, and wait
Yeah.
for us to release it until we have more information for the public attendance. How do you want to handle that?
Yeah, let's if you want to start the update, but we're not going to be able to give you the official until I get it.
Okay.
And I'm going to start and starting Monday is when I'm going to start pushing. I'm not going to probably get an answer until April 1st because they're going to tell me it's not April 1st yet. But that's when I'm going to turn to Donovan, Rajkumar, and Adabo and say, I need your help to start pushing them to give us an answer, as well as me hounding them as well.
Okay.
If I got to send them an email a day, call them twice a day, I'll do it.
So the flyers that we're going to be sending out, like, for example, to NISNA right now, are going to be the ones that doesn't say anything about the electeds that are going to be there. Okay. Okay. So, and then we'll just tell people to monitor the website for the program details, including
Exactly.
attendance requirements or limitations. Okay. I also wanted to mention we're not saying other things like, just so everybody understands the rationale, we're not including like Queens COVID Survivors for Change or Yellow Heart Memorial, like sponsored by, because then it's going to be this long list. So instead, Brian, the way you're going to handle that is you're going to have like a thank you page on our website, right? So it'll thank everybody who participated, whether it be you know, the pastors who are participating, anybody who donated water, NISNA would be on that, all of that. That's where we would acknowledge everybody who participated and donated services or products to the event instead. Okay.
Okay, so let's get to the meat of it, which is the day itself.
Program.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about the portraits. So can we start, Jennifer, what do you need for prints to start being made up?
So I would need like a file. If you can send me a file, or if there's any way you can help in that aspect.
Does it have to be a JPEG or like a vector file or something like
Not
that?
necessarily. I mean, he didn't really specify on that. I am going to call him tomorrow morning again. We're going to kind of go over it again.
And what size did we decide?
Sorry?
Do you remember what size we decided?
So I have it. I think it was 18 by. I have
16 by 18?
I believe so. I have it here on my phone.
I actually have all the sizes in 3 sizes. I can show you the poster board right now. Because you want me to show you? Oh, just give me 1 second. Okay.
Yeah, because I know he sent it to me in an email.
So are the portraits going to be laminated or waterproof?
They are. I'm going to have them because you don't know the weather that day.
Yes,
you know,
exactly.
What if it rains? What if there's like it's a windy day?
Yeah.
I rather them not be damaged.
Right.
So
the only thing that I think we're going to run into as far as laminating goes is the actual yellow hearts.
Yes.
However, what I thought of, I know that's the next thing on the list. I'm jumping, but what I had thought is if we could get like even a plastic sheet to put in front of it, you know, that might be better. We might be able to get over with that.
And you're using the clothespins, right? Because that'll help too. Just the
Yes.
itself.
Yes. The other day we had a whole we had the net set up on a wall, and Mom's pinning different things. We were
the clothespins have been ordered.
Yes,
I love the clothespins. I think that makes it really cute.
I think the floating hearts in the background is gonna look really pretty. Like it's almost like I'm thinking of like a production on Broadway or something where they have like, you know, like the I don't even know what you call it, but you have all of the
it's gonna be a very
the props and everything there. And, well, like floating stars will have floating hearts instead.
And it's going to be a beautiful sunny day, so we're not going to have to
so we don't have to worry about water or anything like that. So this is an 11 by 17. This is really hard to see, but this is the 16.
Okay, so the one he recommended is 18 by 24. So it would be bigger than the one that you're holding.
Yeah, and I think that one was the one we had. I don't know if you guys saw my personal post. The one we had in the church is that big one. 18 by 24 is really, Kathy actually got at the house right now. I gave
Kathy. let me get it. Hold on for 1 second.
Perfect.
It's really huge, and it will
really big.
It is.
Well, the one you have right now next to the smaller one. What size is that one?
I think it's the 16. It's the one after 11 by 17.
16 by 20 probably.
Yeah, I think it's 16 by 20.
18 by 24 would be
fabulous. This is it. Hold on, let me switch this.
Yeah, so this is the 11 by 17.
That's the couch. So it's huge.
And those are
the 18 one.
18 by 24.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, those look really nice though.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think there's enough room there for you to do the name and then the.
So my question with the name, I know Brian had said is that something we're gonna manually write, or do I tell the
I
guy?
No.
think you're gonna have to send the file with the,
Yeah,
so that it's
no.
all uniform.
yeah, I'm gonna give it to you. Yeah, I'm gonna give
Okay,
you the
perfect.
file with everything on it. It's just gonna be ready to be printed. It's gonna be
Okay.
printed, ready to go.
Perfect.
Right,
perfect.
ready to go.
So the portrait is gonna be the portrait of the Hannah's heart, right?
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay, it's not gonna be actual pieces. Okay.
No, it's gonna be
No.
the pieces of
Okay.
COVID portraits,
yeah.
right?
Okay, awesome.
Okay. And then it's gonna say the name and the neighborhood on each one. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so going to the yellow hearts now. So as I said the other night, we hung the net up in my living room, and we experimented with the hearts, and you should have seen us trying to shake them all, and do all sorts of things. But we kind of, I put up the pictures, and I think the clothespins work. We got mom found clothespins at Dollar Tree that are the right size and work great. So that'll work. So now what I was thinking to do that, I don't know if you guys saw in the photos that I submitted of the band shell, but on the band shell on the inside, I'm going to say it was about 14 feet high, or two little, I guess like hooks, I guess you could call them, that we could put a rope through. And then I'm going to buy a piece of pipe that we're going to run the rope through the pipe, and then we're going to attach the net to the pipe. So it's going to be very easy to pull the rope on both sides, and the net goes higher. So as we do that, we can have people in front just pinning the hearts on, and then when you need a new row, we'll lift it up, pin it on, so it'll go quick like that. So I think, the ideas that people were saying about doing some sort of design or a heart, that would be fantastic. But unless you could map that out ahead of time, I don't think it's going to be possible. I think it's just going to have to be straight rows, which will, it'll still be like a wall of hearts behind that. Okay. As I said, in case of bad weather, we could, it wouldn't be great, but we could get a clear, drop cloth to put in front of the entire thing. That would, stop it from getting wet, although it will be inside the band shell a little bit. Okay.
Well, that was my question. Is it going to be inside like the band shell? So it's almost like, there's an overhang, so it wouldn't.
Yeah, because the hooks are like actually inside the band. So it's not like going to be, it's going to be inside.
There's like a little
Yeah.
to the.
Right. I mean, if you could picture like the edge of the band shell, the hooks are just inside that.
Edge. Okay.
Right. So it's going to be inside the edge, more or
Okay.
less, is the way
Okay.
to describe it.
Yeah, it's not going to be in the back of the band shell. It'll be towards the front, but just there's going to be a little bit of an overhang.
Right.
Okay.
Kind of like.
I got it. Okay.
Okay, Emmy, you want to talk about the floral heart project?
Yes. So for those who weren't on our very first call and who don't know what the Floral Heart Project is, it's an art project by Christina Libby. She started this last year, and she assembles a floral heart. It's an interactive experience to open up the space for grieving for loved ones. And she just came off she expanded her efforts from New York City nationwide as of March 1st. And she just came off of that project. So I have a meeting with her tomorrow to talk about what the details of that project is going to look like and what she needs. She does something different for each event. I think she has an IG account. I think it's Floral Heart or Floral Project. So if you look at that, you'll see some of the projects that she did, including the ones that I participated in last October and also last November. It's going to be sponsored by 1-800-Flowers. They're the ones who are going to donate the flowers for this. So I think we're going to get publicity through that as well. And she has also a pretty good following. So I'll report back once I hear more about what she has in mind, and I'll let you guys know.
Sounds good.
And then we talked about the Essential Workers Tribute already. Brian, do you want to talk about Queen's
Would you
Hope?
be able, sorry, would you
Go
be
ahead.
able to share her Instagram?
Yes,
Yes.
definitely. I'll
Let me-
post it in the
The chat.
in the group.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah. Okay, so we talked about the essential workers. So we'll talk about a new aspect, which never in a million years would have expected this. But we got contacted by a volunteer group in Queens called the Queens Hope Rocks. And what these people do is they've been working through the pandemic and they paint rocks and they hide these rocks all throughout parks and other areas just so people could find them and be
Yeah.
inspired and like that. So she contacted me and she wants to provide a rock for every family that is being represented that day. So I said that was a great idea. And her group are painting
Awesome.
rocks and going to be leaving them on the benches.
Yes, that's nice.
And for every family to take
Wow.
a rock home. So
When I lived in Forest Hills, they were scattered throughout. So when we would take our daily, pandemic walk, so we wouldn't go crazy, my daughter would find them, and it would say such pretty things. So it's
Yep.
really nice.
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, that's nice.
I joined I joined their Facebook page and they came up with a couple of designs and they're really nice and they're really beautiful and
Nice.
that's an added aspect. I
Right.
thought that was really cool. So okay.
Can you share
Um,
on
Just
our
to go into it, Brian explained to her that hiding them amongst all of the, the benches or the whole area wouldn't be very practical. So she was all for the idea of just leaving one on each one of the benches with, a picture. So it'll be something else that will be added to
Right.
that.
Okay, so all right, so let's talk about the proposed schedule, okay, for that day. Okay, so I was thinking opening up to the public at like 10 a.m. Okay, so for that to happen, we would have to set up the memorial before that. So hopefully getting volunteers to come in between 8 to 10 to set up. Now, I've been fielding a lot of questions from people on the outside about volunteers.
Yeah.
So hopefully we're going to have a lot of hands that day to help. I'm going to be coming out with a form that we're going to be passing around for people that day who want to help. Okay. Also, I don't know if you guys saw, but one of the people that was featured yesterday was actually a Girl Scout leader from our area, and some of the girls from her troop have asked about helping that day. So we might be getting some help as far as that goes. Okay, so just again, hopefully the 10 a.m. to 12:30. I mean, these are approximate times. That's going to be open to the public. So if people want to come during that time, they can. And then from 1 to 2 will be invitation only, where we'll have the ceremony, we'll have the people speaking. So for the breakdown of the ceremony, Emmy demands that I welcome everybody and speak first. We're going to have interfaith prayer. Assemblywoman Rajkumar would like to speak. And then I'd like to have one of the committee speak about their experiences. I don't want to put anybody on the spot, but if you'd like to speak during that time, let me know. I figured 2 of us can speak. And if you can have something to say about your loved one, obviously, what it was like, etc. And if you're interested, let me know. Okay, you don't have to do it here. You can let me know.
Exactly. Brian, can I speak to that a little bit more? We want to make sure that everyone here on our planning committee does get a chance to speak if you want to speak.
Right.
And we will have other opportunities.
Right.
There's 2 other segments where we want to spread everybody out. And also we have different experiences. Some of us have lost, a parent, a spouse, a child. So we want to also diversify that. And Brian, I was also thinking if somebody could, if they're bilingual, if they want to speak in Spanish, we could have one person speak to that community. but I want to make sure that it's diverse and that everybody gets a chance to speak if you want to. So if you could let both me
Right.
and Brian know, then I'll try to balance it out throughout.
And so this part of the ceremony, I don't want to use the word formal in a scary way, but it's going to be more of a formal speaking spot. So if that's not what you want to do, that's fine. There's more opportunities coming. Okay. Okay. So those are going to be, that's when Raj Kumar Donovan and Adabo is going to speak. Also, Lori is checking into having one of her songwriter friends perhaps do a song. And we're going to have the prayers at that point. Okay. And then for the rest of the day after that, it will be open to the public. At 3 o'clock, 3 to 4, we're going to have the Floral Heart Project. That'll be another opportunity where we can have people on the committee share their experiences and speak. That'll be a little less formal of an opportunity to speak then. So if that's something you feel more comfortable with, you can do it then. Okay. And then 6 or 7 o'clock will be the closing ceremony. And that'll be a brief ceremony. We're still hashing that out. A candle lighting, but again, another opportunity for one or two of us to speak about it. Okay.
Just to speak a little bit more about the closing ceremony, and I don't know if you still want to do this, Brian, but we were thinking that we would have tea lights at each of the faces of COVID portraits, so that at dusk, when it turns dark, we'll have, well, at dusk, I think it would be a pretty nice visual during that candle lighting ceremony to just see that. I think it's going to be a beautiful sight, just like when Biden did did it at the Lincoln Memorial. And then just to speak to the earlier part with the interfaith prayers, right now we only have 2 people who have committed, and we do need more diversity. So if you have any connections to any other community, non-Christian, I think the Christian community is well represented. So Muslim, Jewish, Hindu, if you could please just reach out to me so that we can help you follow up with them, provide the materials, and then coordinate with them. The 2 that we spoke of before is it St. Mark's or St. Michael's Episcopal Church?
St. Mark's.
And Al got that contact. And then our priest from Our Lady of Lourdes Roman Catholic Church in Queens Village, New York, which was also very highly hit, will be speaking as well. So,
sorry, go ahead.
So we need at least 1 or 2 more for the morning formal ceremony, at least 1 more for the formal ceremony with the electeds. And then we want to have a final prayer, interfaith prayer at the closing ceremony as well to close that out.
Do you guys have a Pentecostal?
Okay.
No, we only have an Episcopal and a Catholic right now.
Okay. So I will speak to my mom's minister, see if he able to volunteer his time.
Okay,
great.
thank you,
Thank you.
Pablo.
Okay.
Manpreet, did you want to say something?
Yeah, my only thing is I have a Sikh priest, but he doesn't really speak English, so I just want to.
That's fine.
That's fine.
That would be good. And then
That's actually absolutely fine. And if anybody has somebody who wants to speak Spanish, that's fine too.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, that's any language.
Yeah.
Any language. I
Any
mean,
language.
Queens has so many
Yeah.
of
We
course.
want to represent the diversity of Queens at this event.
You know, I don't know if it's still completely true, but I know it was about 10 years ago, Queens County was the most diverse county within the United States.
I think
It still
true.
is.
It still is.
More diverse than any place in California or
Yep.
any place. So I
Yep.
think the more that we can celebrate the diversity we have here too is
Yeah.
important.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I just want to also just talk about, during the day, you guys, whatever you guys want to do, don't feel that you have to be there for the entire day.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys have a pass to come in and out. So you're going to be on staff. So if you want to go home for a little while and come back, if you can't make it for a certain thing, you want to come later, you got to leave early. Don't feel obligated to stay there all day. Obviously, I'm going to be there all day.
I'll be there
And
all day.
mom will be there all day, she says.
there.
I'll
So
be there all day.
if you guys want to, that's completely up to you. I don't want you to look at this and say, oh, that's my entire day. It's up to you guys, whatever you want to do.
Are we able
Okay,
to bring like
now-
our loved ones if like my fiance wants to stay all day? so
Yes,
she's coming from
absolutely.
Ireland. I just
Sure.
want to bring
Yeah,
them
that's
over
fine.
to, like, go
Yeah,
to
just talk to me and we can work out the minor details. Okay. Okay. Now the day of logistics. Okay. So now what we were saying before about donations. Now we obviously can't donate. We can't provide snacks and water and whatnot to the public. But for us, that's something we're going to have to look into. Having water, having things like that for us. So that's where donations might come in handy for us.
Brian,
Not just-
sorry, is there a back area so that it's
Yep.
hidden from the public?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So we're going to have a tent set up to the left. That's going to be kind of next to the stage. That's going to be, mom keeps calling it the green
Green
room.
room.
Where it's going to be like a place that we can go. There's going to be chairs there. There's going to be places to sit for us to relax.
It's going to
and-
be the
and things
check-in
like that.
area for all the volunteers and speakers.
Right,
and
and
so forth.
also for the different people who will be speaking and whatnot. It's a cemented area. When we were there the last time, they were playing volleyball. They have, I don't know, holes in the ground that they can put a volleyball net up, and the kids were playing volleyball. So it's a nice size area, but it's cemented, and around it is, grass and dirt and all. And in front of it are some bushes that I presume in May may be a lot bigger than they seemed when we were there. But it's not completely private, but again, it's a little bit separated from everybody. And we can put chairs there, we can put a couple of tables, put a tent that we have up, cover, when I say a tent,
Yeah.
not enclosed,
Right.
but just the cover over. So this way that people can sit there. We can ask people to check in there and
Yeah.
also,
I'll come
you
up
know,
with a check-in area.
right, just have an area where
Right.
we can have things.
So that's where I know Angel had said he was going to handle the donations for that day, but this is a great, that's where we could basically use
Mhm.
the bulk of it. Okay. I'm going to be coming up with a list of what we need to do that day. I'll also be handling volunteers, signing up people from the community to help volunteer that day as well. We've been working on the actual, for lack of a better term, seating chart. And I have a seating chart already planned out that has where people are being placed. I want you to know that the first row is going to be all of our family members. So that's going to be the first row is everyone who's volunteered on the committee. And then it's spaced out throughout the rest. I think as of this morning, we finished rows 1 through 15, and row 16, we've just started putting people in. Okay. So we still
And there are
have some
30
space.
rows
30
that go
rows.
back.
Wow.
Okay. The other thing is what I'm going to be doing as well is in the rows on the outsides, we are going to be putting signs asking the public to stay out of the rows, and that the only people in the rows are going to be people that are going to be family members. That's something that we're going to have to ask volunteers to kind of keep an eye on for. Hopefully there's not going to be any circumstances of vandalism or disrespect or anything like that. But if we can keep it just for families to visit their benches, that would be good. Okay.
Question? Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
No, I just wanted to just say thank you to Brian and Peg. So basically their seating chart, my understanding is we're going to know exactly for all of those who are going to have the faces of COVID portraits, we're going to know exactly where they are, which bench, row,
Yes.
row
Let me-
5, number 2.
Wait, so let me back up. Let me back up 1 second. So when you come in, the very first entrance of when you walk into the memorial, we are going to have signs up that are going to be seating charts alphabetically, so you can so everyone can come in and know where their loved one is. We're also going to be having copies of that either digitally or printed copies because I'm sure people are going to need help finding their loved one as well. But yes, it's going to be when you come in, you're going to know exactly where your loved one has been placed. And I'm hopefully going to get that information out to everybody ahead of time too. Okay.
Which means we have to have a deadline, right, for you to
Yes.
work on that. So
Yeah.
I think our target date, right, was to try to get it at least a week before all of the COVID cases of COVID names, at least a week before the event, right?
Right.
Brian?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely. I mean, we could probably squeeze some in, but yeah, at least a week before. Okay.
So that's going to
Yeah,
be
probably like
April
April
24. April 24.
April
Yeah,
24. Okay.
Saturday before.
Okay. So when we're advertising this, I know we haven't put it on any flyers, but maybe we can put it on the website just so people are aware that there's a deadline.
Right. Right. One of the things is once we start getting some of the some of them printed, we are going to go down to Forest Park and start placing them to take photos. So then that's going to be once people start seeing the visual. I mean, you guys would not believe. I put up that post about filling out the hearts, the yellow hearts, and we got like almost like 150 responses overnight. So when people actually see it, they're like, "Oh my God, we've got."
But I don't know if you told anybody.
Oh, and yeah, the woman that was being written in the heart, her family saw it and was so touched that it
somebody
was really.
somebody emailed back. That's my mother.
Yeah.
You know, writing and
Yeah.
it was like, oh, it was so touching. I wasn't doing it. My girlfriend's granddaughter was writing it, and they were just blown away by it.
Right.
That it was so awesome that they were actually writing the name of somebody whose family could see that. It was really, really beautiful.
Okay, so the last thing I want to talk about before we open it up to all the things that I missed is what are we going to do with the portraits afterwards, which has been a big topic of conversation. Emmy had some great ideas. So Emmy.
So when Brian and I just started off with these ideas, I was like, we have to begin with the end in mind because we're going to do all this work just for one day, but really we need to make sure that there's some type of sustainability plan. So at the beginning of this, I was thinking that we would research some other community spaces that, like the Yellow Heart Memorial. I don't know if you all are familiar with Rosie Davis's project, where she did the Yellow Heart in Texas, and the museum held it for, initially it was supposed to be for, I don't know if it was a couple of weeks but it extended to a full month. So we are looking at a couple of places. Some suggestions have been the Queens Museum of Art, the Queens Historical Society, and the Queens Public Library. So I don't know if anyone here has any other suggestions or has any connections to these institutions, but I'll be making some phone calls to sort of pitch the idea that after the event that our portraits will go to some place to be further, I don't want to say the word enjoyed, but so that folks can come for a longer period of time to pay tribute to our loved ones. And if that, whatever it is, a week or a couple of weeks, a month, after that, I think we also were talking about sending the portraits somehow or giving the portraits back to those who submitted the names so that they have that as a keepsake for, forever. So that's what we were thinking about after the event. So it's not just a one-day thing. And so if you guys have any other suggestions, if you could just, jabber me or, email me, let me know, and I'll start looking into them this week.
That's where I think it's really great that these Queens, that these rocks people came in, because if we're talking about the portraits going to somewhere else, it's really nice that the family has something that day that they can take home that day.
That's true.
Yeah. So that's going to be really good. And then hopefully maybe, like you said, this is something that can live on, that can go to a museum for an amount of time.
Or maybe it'll go on tour. Like maybe it'll be in one facility for one day for 2 weeks, and then another one for another couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Could I ask one question?
Sure.
I'm a veteran, and I'm thinking about how, have anybody reach out to any veteran facilities, the VA hospital, or anything like that? Because I know
No.
my brother-in-law used to work at the nursing home out in Queens. And he said that they had a lot of patients die from COVID there.
If
So I
you
was
can-
wondering if I could get involved in trying to reach out to them.
Yes, absolutely,
Yes,
Pablo.
yes,
Yes.
Definitely, please.
That's
Yes,
Definitely.
100%.
All
Yeah.
right, thank you so much. I
No,
will
thank
start with
you.
that tomorrow
Pablo.
morning.
Thank you.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Yes.
Okay, so does anybody have any other questions, concerns?
Can
Yeah.
I bring up two things?
Go for it.
So I'm hoping one of my girlfriends, she has like the thing that prints like masks and t-shirts and stuff.
Yeah.
So she had volunteered to help us out to make she's made masks for other people, like a lot, like 50, 100 masks, whatever we need.
So,
So we talked about that last week.
yes,
Yeah.
so last meeting, which you were missing, that's what we decided. Yes, we are all, the committee is all going to be getting, remembering to stay masks. So I think we agreed to have the logo on it, and that's going to be given out to us here, us who have been planning from the beginning.
Mhm.
Okay. On top of that, I've determined that I have to do, frequently, I've done this before, is we have to do laminates for volunteers. But the masks themselves, yes, because we were talking about, we don't know the weather, so t-shirts or sweatshirts or whatever, but masks we're gonna need regardless. So yes, we can definitely do that.
All right. So if you want, I can have my friend do them. You guys can just give me like the design if you're
You
okay.
and Jennifer,
Yeah, maybe you two can coordinate because I think Jen
Yes.
also.
I'll send you a message. and
Yeah.
we'll-
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
You talking all. I don't know if any of you saw the memorial over in Belmar, New Jersey. I think it was March 13th, but it was very nice. Of course, it was cold, but they had yellow. The people who worked together obviously had yellow scarves on. But I mean, it looked very nice. But also, I can imagine if you were there, especially with people wearing masks, it was very easy to know who was really involved. And the same thing, if we're going to have masks on, even though we've seen each other, on Zoom, if you want somebody on the committee, it's going to be like trying to find, especially if there's a lot of people. But this way, if we all have the yellow masks on,
Right.
we'll know who we're looking for.
Right. Did you have anything else, Manpreet?
And then the videos. So my
Right.
fiance who's sitting here was saying that no one submitted videos. There's
Okay.
photos, no one submitted videos.
So what do you need?
Yeah,
Is it
let us
okay
know
if
what
I
you
let
need.
him talk to you guys because
Sure.
I don't know what he wants.
Okay.
Hi,
Hello.
how's it going? I would just need video footage. It could be of family members that passed away. It could be of healthcare workers. It could be of anything you guys want. Just could be any length of time, short clips, long clips, whatever, doesn't matter. Just video clips. That's it.
Okay, I will definitely and you have access to the Queen's COVID G drive for that folder that Brian created?
He created a folder that I do have access to on Google Drive.
Okay, so we can upload it there?
Yeah, there's 2 pictures in there right now. I mean, as much video as you guys could send me of different.
Okay.
pieces would be great.
Okay,
Cool.
we'll do that.
So you guys gonna post a link for that too?
Yeah, we'll post that. You could just add whatever you want into that.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so I have one more thing. Now that we are heading into the home stretch, we have a month before it's officially May 1st. It's just gone by so fast.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask everyone regarding regarding the frequency of our meetings. Brian and I are in touch often, but I know that we're going to start, a lot of activity is going to pick up in the next couple of weeks. So does a weekly meeting work out for you guys? And again, we're going to start recording these. I think Brian's recording. Yep. On the upper left-hand corner, this is recording. So if you do miss it, it's fine. We just want to let you know that the meeting activity will pick up.
I have no.
Okay.
idea that myself.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know about your guys' schedule, but I know Wednesday nights usually work good for me.
Yeah.
Can we say like Wednesday nights? Okay.
Wednesday's fine for
Good.
me.
Okay, cool.
Okay,
All right.
Yeah.
Hi, Pablo. Turn your camera on.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
hello.
I haven't seen Pablo. Where are you?
Oh, there.
Hello.
Hi.
Alright.
All right.
My internet was acting kind of fishy, so I was switching over.
Okay.
And
We
then
all
I
understand internet,
Yeah.
internet problems.
Modern
Yes.
modern technology. Great.
Mhm.
Okay,
Brian, I don't know
great.
if I mentioned this to you. I know I mentioned it to Jennifer because we were talking. I'm actually taking a leave of absence from work, so I'm only going to be working once a week. So if you guys need me to help
Wow.
out more, I'm willing to do it. I'm actually going to Queens for the next month, so I'll be in South Ozone Park. So I'll
Okay.
actually be able to do more things. So
Okay.
I know, like, since everyone works, obviously, I will actually for once not be working, so I
Right.
can help you guys out with things if you guys need to.
Okay.
Awesome.
I'm off. I'm off this week coming up, so I know I'm going to be doing a lot of things this week. And yeah, so I know at some point we're going to probably have to, I'm going to be going to the park again. So maybe someday we can say if we all want to meet at the park some night or something like that, just to go through it, that might help. Okay. So I'll keep you guys in touch with everything that's going on.
Okay,
Okay.
cool.
Can I say one more thing before we close?
Sure.
I just want to say that, because I know we're over, but this is a very difficult time for all of us because we're planning this while we are grieving, and we have hit a lot of 1-year anniversaries. I think today was Al's son's
Yeah.
death anniversary, and last Friday was me and Kathy's, our dad's 1-year anniversary. So I just want to acknowledge that for all of you that, our hearts are with you. And some of us are not familiar with each other's stories. So last week we had gone around, and you can view the minutes for that. But I just wanted to ask Manpreet, Alyssa, and Pablo, if we could just say like who you lost, when their anniversary is, so that we can acknowledge you guys that day and then offer you support. And then that way we'll know each other's stories and be aware of that.
Yeah. So I lost my grandfather, my mom's. His name is Michael Perna. He passed away on April 19th.
Thank you.
I'm Pablo. I lost my mother. This is gonna be on May. Sorry, she passed away on April 5th. After being in the hospital for 2 weeks, she had no underlying conditions, and COVID took her from me.
Thank you, Pablo.
Thank you.
I lost my dad on April 15th. Same thing like Pablo, no underlying conditions. And this has actually been a hard week because today is the day actually I called an ambulance for him while I was at work. So it's going to be a tough week. And his birthday's April 1st. So like I said, that's part of the reason why I'm going to take the month. There's just a lot of milestones coming up this month of April.
Yeah.
Better to take off.
And guys, if at any time you need to step back or take the day or take some time, please, we all understand.
Yes.
I completely understand.
Yep.
And we'll be doing, we all need to do that. So
Mhm.
please. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good meeting.
Hey guys, so enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Thank you very much. And please be in touch, and hopefully we'll get some stuff done soon.
Right.
Okay, guys?
All right. Thank you.
Okay,
Right.
guys.
Okay.
Have a great day.
I'll
See
post the
you later.
meeting.
Bye-bye.
Take care, everybody. Bye.